Alright, what's up guys? What's going on? So new set release. Maze of the Master. Who's the Master? I don't know, but it's their maze apparently. So yeah, new set dropped. I think it's time we talk about it. I opened two boxes, and I think I pulled a Temple of the Kings. I think it's called Temple of the Kings. I know the old one was called Temple of the Kings. Whatever the new one is, I pulled one of them and pulled a CR. I pulled a Man with a Mark. I know I pulled a Molchami in there. I'm trying to think about what my other secret was. I don't think it was anything important because I can't remember what it was. So it's like standard. I was going to do a box opening for it, but then I realised that my pull rating's been kind of meh. But I did get the CR one. But it's only worth like 50 bucks, I think. I gave it to Rossi and he hasn't put it up. But I think what was this? We're gonna talk about the set. This is the Maze set that releases around March every year, or at least for as long as I've been playing. We've had, I think, 3 Maze sets, and they've been pretty good. Because I remember one had like the Baron reprint in them. I honestly thought this was the Battles of Legend one, but that one I don't think comes out until like June or something like that. And so it came with a few. I think it came with 1, maybe 2 new archetypes if I'm looking at this. Right? And then a bunch of support. Like some support and then reprints, and a bunch of reprints too. So we're going to run through the new stuff, talk about it a little bit, see kind of like I just kind of hazard a guess at some things from what other people have said. And from me reading their cards, and then just kind of going from there. So one of the new ones is the Odeon stuff. So it's the Man with the Mark, the Anubis stuff, and then Apophis. Apophis is it. And so I think it seems pretty cool from what people are doing with it. It seems that like the fusions, there are 2 fusions. It seems to work with itself really, really well. I think the only issue I really have with it is that they've only given you 1 new Apophis trap, with the other one being Swamp Deity from a previous set, and then the original one from who knows how long ago, which is just a vanilla monster. So this deck list is pretty easy to find if you're looking for one. It really is not solved because I think it needs more support. Ideally in the thought of more traps, right? Like they have a lot of monsters. They get like the Man with the Mark here. What is it? It's Alright, so they got this Anubis the Last Judge, then the Defense of the Temple, and so I think so this is Treasures of the King. Like I pulled a CR of this. So this deck has the issue, which I think a lot of people have gone through, which is it has a bit of an identity crisis, but it's one of these weird ones where it has this decent kind of like resource loop with how it all works. It looks like it can pull up a fair few bodies, but all the bodies seem to really only work for it, like for its fusions and stuff. So it's very, very self-contained, which is kind of cool. I'm down for that. But we've seen that anything that's kind of too self-contained doesn't go as far as other decks that are a bit more generic. So for instance, like the fusions require, well, that's one of them. There are 2 fusions, and I've only got 1. They require monsters that mention Temple of the Kings. That immediately decimating means that like any other engine that you try and put into it, it's just going to be another engine, right? So, and you can't really play another kind of like trap deck, I think, with it, because your back rows just seem to be too clogged up. Like this is a continuous, your trap cards, the Apophis trap cards, if you play just 2 of them, it's still like a recursive 2, right? And so like if you play these 2, the Apophis Serpent and the Swamp Deity, which are the better ones, because this one here could set this one then activate at the same turn, then that's 2 in the back row, and then it's 2 monsters on the field. So you really have to be kind of like you really got to manage your zones a lot more than I think with other decks, which is kind of like Link Off and stuff and something goes on. But it's like, cause if you can't summon this stuff, it just, nothing goes off. Nothing goes off. And then if you have the same trouble with like, if you've got too much in the back row, then you've already got like 3 slots taken away, right? So I think that's like a thing, so maybe that's why there aren't so many traps, but I do think that options are always nice. Like if you have the option to set other things with this one, with this Apophis of the Serpent. And then from that point, it just feels like all the other monsters are just kind of to get you to an end board, which is fine. Like a lot of decks do that these days. I do think that if we're talking about stuff that irks me with it, it is this card here, which does... It can be activated this turn. Now, that's all fine and dandy. Right, that's all fine and dandy, but at the same time, why are we playing traps? I just want to read this one real quick. Normal special, I don't know how you special this, or if you can special it, but I was thinking, if we're talking about cards that kind of do stuff, it's this thing, right? When this card is normal summon, you set 1 continuous trap from your hand or graveyard, it can be activated this turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can activate this effect. Face-up trap you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects until the end of this turn. These things are still traps. So, I think this is a pretty cool tech, because also it fits with the whole Egyptian thing, like he looks like Ra. He looks like Ra. Okay, so I think he's pretty cool, and then there's another one. Ooh, we're gonna write in the description. Continuous. Nope, 1-0, dumbass. Continuous trap, right? So there's another fairy. This dude. Pharaonic Advent is another one. Gains 300 attack for each continuous trap on the field and in the graveyard. You only you contribute one monster special on this card from your hand, so it's a pretty easy summon. You contribute 1 fairy, feed, or reptile monster, add 1 continuous trap from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special monster with hand. So, I think this is pretty cool. I think the Cardin is probably a bit better if you're looking for another normal summon. And then that would also probably mean that you'd play more continuous traps. Mainly more of this. I think right now I've only played like 1. So maybe it's not the best, but I do think as a starter, if you played more of this, because they're not bad, they're free bodies and stuff like that, and it gets you into Swamp Deity, or probably gets you into the other one, and then you just have more bodies on board. So that's definitely a play. You know, you'd have a really cool thing with if you don't go into the fusions, you'd have a pretty cool thing with like Time Thief Redo It. So that's my kind of take on this deck at the moment. And then we've got the ABC support, so it's like Y Yarhead, Z Millennium, Tank, and X Cannon Buster, some crap like that. Right, so I don't know this deck too well because ABCs came out a long time ago. It was like Adventure ABC. I dueled against it once, and I stomped him, and I didn't really care what he did because it just kind of beat itself. It just kind of bricked me with playing like Destrudo and stuff. So I don't know. I didn't really get too much from it. But Tony said that what it does is it raises the ceiling on what the deck can do, makes it a little bit more consistent, but also does add a few more bricks into the deck. So it looks like you're kind of going for a similar end board to what it used to do, but with more in-art type pieces and a bit more consistency to it. It very much seems like if you can get anything to the graveyard, you're pretty much good to just start spamming bodies to the board and stuff. But you are locked into lights into the extra deck, and right, I think at the moment, like realistically, we'll just look at links and just go like 1 to 4, right? We do this and we look at like these are all the light links between 1 and 4. I mean, Bengal Lancers are not 2 plant monsters. Dagda, maybe you could do something with Dagda. The Bujinski, because they are 4s. They are 4s. What do you need? What are the materials? 2 monsters with the same level. So a whole bunch of them are 4s. You can do like, you could probably end on this and then quick Xyz on your... Oh no, maybe you could go like... I don't know how you do this. This doesn't do anything. This doesn't do anything. I thought it was like IP is when it's link summon. This is dumb. Don't do this. That one, nope. I don't think there are too many good... I didn't know he was a light. I do not think, other than this guy, which would just make it an FTK, there would just be an FTK ABC version. Right? I do not think there are too many light monsters that you really can be bothered going into, except for maybe like the Fiendsmith stuff. Really would be the only thing. Oh, you can get Firewall Dragon. He's pretty cool. Maybe some of the Galaxy Eyes stuff if you kind of want to go like do something going second. The Sulphur Cords aren't going to do anything. What did I see up here before? Oh, he's cool. Nope. It's this thing. Can you control with an effect monster? That's not bad. If you control no other effect monsters, you destroy monsters, effect monsters, you probably other than non-effect monsters you control in your graveyard. They do play the X-Head Cannon in some builds, which means if you can have that on board with this thing, maybe. I don't know. I think the deck's kind of already doing what it wants to do. Griffin's on there. You run no, because they're not Cyberses. So yeah, there's Avramax. You know, you are locked into lights, but you know there's some hip Hoshiningen just makes real big pieces of crap. I don't know, man. It seems like the deck's already somewhat sold because it's just cards added onto an existing archetype that already kind of did something, and that's kind of all I can really gather from it right now at the moment. So it seems pretty cool. People like it. I'm going to build it. I want to do something with like Springans and Therians rather than Fiendsmith because I'm getting bored of Fiendsmith. We'll leave 7th Tachyon for now. I'm going to talk about him later. There's this Grief Tablet, which is just more Millennium support, which was weird because not just this thing, but also this thing. I'm just going to move these down here. Break the Seal. Just random, like, Exodia. Like the Millennium makes sense, I guess, because it's just more Millennium support, like, who cares? This here is specifically add Forbidden Ones, like, place 1 Break the Seal from your deck or graveyard face up in your field zone, send 2 of them to add a Forbidden One. If this card is field destroyed, reveal it to 5. Return that many cards your opponent controls. Wait, this card is on the field destroyed. Reveal it to 5 Forbidden monsters in your hand. Return that many cards. I mean, you can't. Up to 5 is weird because it's like you should just have all the pieces, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird FTK. Maybe there's something to do with this. What's the head of Exodia called? Is it Forbidden One? Or is it just Exodia, the Forbidden One? Yeah, Forbidden One. What do I put in Forbidden One? Because it's got to be like left leg of the Forbidden One. So it looks like if you can, you know, loop some stuff around. Yeah, all Forbidden Ones. It is a continuous trap. So I don't know if this can work with this stuff or not, because I don't know this stuff here well enough, but I doubt it. But it does work with Cardin if you've got it in hand and you're playing 3 of them. Which means you can activate it and then place another one straight up and add a Forbidden One, maybe. So I thought it was weird that we had like Exodia support, like just to FTK. This thing here. So just to preface this real quick before we go into like some of the random stuff, I picked the cards that I think are interesting in this set that I want to show you. Because I know a lot of people don't buy the set, but I do, and so I just want to show stuff that I think is interesting rather than just stuff that's like just everything. Because a lot of it is just garbage. This one here I found interesting because it's an Earthbound Immortal. And it's a Red Dragon Archfiend card, which makes no sense to me at all, right? So he's a weird like dodge, I think, for Earthbounds because you tribute, but you're tributing an Earthbound Immortal. If you're sending one, and no, you're not even because you're doing it on for effect. You can banish this card. Yeah, I guess actually not. Yeah, it still works, so the target would go away, right? But you need to get rid of an Earthbound Immortal, so one of the big ones where you need to have a field spell so it doesn't get destroyed, right? And then you can spend some on an Earthbound much from your deck or your extra deck, which doesn't count it as being a real extra deck summon, so whatever you do with it after that, it's just dead. But then for some reason the Red Nova treats it as a Synchro Summon. I thought he looked cool, because I think the other thing that kind of threw me off, right, was that I've just completely, Immortal works. Right, is that he's an Earthbound Immortal, looks nothing like Red Nova, he also looks nothing like an Earthbound Immortal. Because all the Earthbound Immortals, all of them, from the Servants to the thing, have these, like, hieroglyphs and stuff on them. Not him. But, like, they have, like, these hieroglyphs on them, right? Like, they have these hieroglyphs, but he doesn't. Yeah, but if you look at Red Nova, he doesn't look anything like Red Nova either. Like, Red Nova is red. Like, I mean, the posture's the same. But then it's just that this also puts in my mind that Earthbound Immortals and Red Dragon Archfiends are in the same universe. That's all. Like this is all this can mean, right? Like I mean, because what are the snakes for? What are the snakes for? I don't know. This card threw me off. He's cool. I want to play Earthbound. I want to play Earthbound, but it's there's so many decks that you can play in any given week, month, year, and then sometimes I just don't go to locals, so I'm just like a week behind. But this one here just threw me off, and I thought it was really, really fun. There's this one, the Schwartz Shard Infinity Dragon. At one point I was theorizing you put this in Blue Eyes, but you can't because it locks you into rank 8s. But I guess in saying that though, you could do a build like a going second OTK build with Blue Eyes if you really wanted to, because some of the Blue Eyes cards are kind of nuts to just like dump dragons onto the board. But this is also just a how do you even pronounce it? It's Schwartz. It's a retrain of this thing, which is just a special summon from hand. So I mean, realistically, you could play both. You could play both just for shits and gigs, I guess. That's kind of cool, I guess. It's nothing crazy, especially not with this thing. But we'll get to that in a second. And then this one here, I want to talk about the Allure Queens. Like I like jank stuff, as you know. I do like stuff that's just kind of a little weird, a little different. But this one actually pissed me off to see. So the level monsters, level 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 7, or whatever like that for Silent Swordsman and all that kind of crap. Horus was another one, the Horus Black Flame. Then you had the Armed Dragon Thunders and the Armed Dragons levels, whatever. Now the issue that I have with this, right, is that the original, they've circumvented the effect of the Allure Queens, which is that you attach the same level. Your opponent has the same level. You attach it, and then in the following standby phase, you send this card equipped with the monster to the graveyard and summon the next level up, which would be the 5. And the 5 would do the same thing. Target a level 5 or lower monster your opponent controls, equip the target this card. And the level 7 is just target one monster your opponent controls, equip that target as a quick spell, and then like it has battle protection and stuff like that, right? So Allure Palace and Dance, along with this link, right? The link doesn't really do anything. It's just this stuff here facilitates the link, which just summons back another Allure Queen. Right, which makes them Allure Queen. So this is actually kind of cool. This thing is cool, but the way they get to it is annoying because they just make it so then you don't have to do this anymore. It lets you just do it on the turn. So the way that the Palace and Dance work is that you summon a similar level and this one, and then immediately do the thing. So then you can just do this. You can summon a Allure Queen to their side, summon one to your side, immediately activate the effect to send them, and then bring the 5 out. The 5 does the same thing, yada yada, because it's the field spell, right? So spellcast once you control, gain 5 attack defense. Send one card from your hand to the graveyard, add to your hand, or special summon one opponent to your opponent's field, one Allure Queen monster from your deck. And then you kind of do that, right? And then so as long as you open up number 3, I'm pretty sure you can just do the whole line. And then you can link 3 and then summon all of them back and do whatever else you want with them. But this one here does make it so then your Allure Queens in their original names that equip monsters themselves as quick, they're treated as quick effect, which is pretty sick. And then you can throw one card on the field, also Allure monster you can throw battle. So this is actually like what they've done with it is cool. With this Link 3, it's actually really, really cool in my mind. It's just for me personally, because I don't like when cards just like have their effects just kind of change to a point of why did we ever write it that way? Make them new cards. Don't make them Allure Queen level 3, 5, and 7. Make them something else. Make them different. And you know what I mean? They don't have to be Allures, whatever. Make a different level thing that just do this. Alright? But I guess maybe it's balanced by needing spell cards to do it. But it just seems like they're just trying to bring old crap forward, which is fine, I guess. But it shouldn't be in the place of, oh, just do the effect now, which is my same complaint with trap cards, as setting it and then playing it that same turn. Kind of defeats the purpose of playing trap cards. Why are we doing it? Blah, 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 blah. Alright? Like, so that's it. But the idea is cool, mainly because of this thing. Like, this thing's kind of sick. I want to mess with this stuff because I'm pretty sure, other than Golden Allure Queen, all of it was like just rares and supers. So it'd be pretty easy to... I think I might have the whole core from the 2 boxes that I pulled. I just might need to find myself a Golden Allure Queen. and then it looks pretty splashable in anything else. No, actually not really. I reckon it's a whole deck because what is it? Let's say it's 3 queen, 1 or 2 5s, 2 7s, 3 palace, 3 dance. Would probably be how this works, right? And then like a terraforming or whatever. So you've got like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. On the other cards, you've got 14 cards and then 16. Not 16, 26 other cards to make 40. So I guess do whatever else you want with it, really. And that's kind of cool. Like I said, maybe it is more splashable than I think. But yeah, I think once again, cool engine. I like it. I like what it's trying to do. I just don't like that they're just getting rid of old effects to just replacing it with new crap instead of actually replacing the card with new cards. And then there's Tachyon stuff. I think realistically, like this one here is just the new one that kind of just does everything from the sounds of it. But realistically, I'm more interested in Tachyon Cloud Dragon because it is the popular of the deck, and the fact that they printed Nebula Dragon in it, which there was in Snake Eye, there was a combo you could do which was almost perfect if it wasn't for Sunlight Wolf having the restriction. Because with the way Poplar works and with the way this one works is that if you get added to hand except by drawing it, you just get to summon it, right? And so in Snake Eye format, there was you could go Sunlight Wolf, put something there, like summon to the zone, pull Poplar back to hand. Because Sunlight Wolf says you cannot activate that monster's effect, you can't summon it. But Nebula Dragon does not say that. You can banish a card from your graveyard, target 1 level 4 Light Dragon monster from your graveyard, add it to your hand. This piece of crap's in your graveyard, add it back to your hand, immediately hits the field again. Which is sick, I think. I think that's really cool. But once again, this one doesn't seem as strong as Poplar, because Galaxy Eyes doesn't seem that strong. But the only issue I have with Galaxy Eyes is Tachyon becoming like a hand trap. We'll let the format decide where that goes. But I think Tachyon Cloud Dragon is kind of cool. And I think its pairing with Nebula Dragon is going to be cool as well if they do it. I don't know, I'm not the best deck builder in the world. So then, this is a new archetype, I'm pretty sure. Because they released, I think, 2 new archetypes, which would have been Odeon and Clear. It's not a new archetype in its sense, because I'm pretty sure Clear World was already a card for a while, and it was used as like a set rotation target sometimes, from what I could tell. But they just released a whole bunch of monsters. Now, I don't know if these things already existed, I probably should look this up, but they're all in the set. You can pick up the entire Clear World thing. And so the way that the Clear Worlds work is that, or the Clear monsters work, is that they all revolve around this Clear Worlds field spell, which is a giant... It's a myriad of floodgates to some degree, right? Like, so once per turn during your end phase, each player receives effects depending on the monster attribute they control. So, Light, play with your hand revealed at all times. Not bad, right? If you control 2 or more monsters, you cannot declare an attack. Pretty good. Earth, destroy your standby phase. During your standby phase, destroy 1 face-up defense position monster you control. Fire, or water during your end phase, discard 1 card. That's not bad. Fire, during your end phase, take 1,000 damage. That's pretty funny. And wind, you must pay 500 life points to activate a spell card. That's kind of nuts too, right? Now, the issue with this field spell is that it's really format dependent on what it is. So right now it'd be darks and it'd be lights. So and then fires technically because of duo drive and stuff like that, right? So they might take 1,000 damage, and they might have to play with their hand revealed the whole time. And then darks like Malice wouldn't be able to attack. Not that they'd care because they can control all their banishes, right? Now the thing that they've done is they've released this thing, Clear Wall. If Clear Wall is in the field, you can add 1 monster that mentions Clear Wall. That's pretty handy, right? Clear World monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. That's fair. And you take no battle damage, because your stuff just stays alive. While you control a level 7 or higher monster, this is the one, that mentions Clear World, your opponent receives all effects of Clear World, regardless of the monster attributes they control. Now, not only is that nuts, right, because that's a lot to have to deal with when you're a player, like not being able to attack, burning for a stupid amount for each spell card you play, like 500 then 1,000 in the end phase, having to get rid of a face-up defense edition monster because they're treating it like it's Earth. They're treating it like it's Earth, which means you've got to leave everything in attack. right? And then discarding a card in the end phase, like it's kind of nutty, right? But not only that, if you have a clear world, you're unaffected by the effects of clear world. So that's pretty funny to me. I'm tinkering with this a little bit because it is kind of funny. So these are your 2 7s. This one here lets you. It's an Akihiron. It lets all your clear monsters attack directly, which is pretty funny. And it burns for each card in their hand. That's also funny, I guess, with the clear world thing, because then you attack directly and then just burn for more. Bit weird because one of the effects is to discard a card in the end phase. This one here is the thing that gets it. So discard 2 cards, including this card. Add 2 cards from your deck to your hand that are clear world spells or traps. The thing with that effect, there are no traps that mention clear world, which means we're probably getting more support, which is hilarious. And this one here gives you an extra normal summon. So normally it's like, you know, you'd do this and one other card to add these two. Then you go clear world this to add this Vicious Knight, normal summon this, extra normal summon, like use your extra normal summon to tribute this and go. That's pretty neat in my mind. And then you're sitting there on a pretty big floodgate, but it does lose to a few things like imperm and stuff like that. So maybe if you play it with like the Allure Queens and just leave them with something on their side of the field, I don't know, man, that's pretty funny. You can't imperm it. So I'm tinkering with this. I think that there's some level of play. You probably don't need the dragon. There's probably some level of play with like I think machine duplication. If I'm not getting what machine dupe does, like I think it's like less than 500. Oops, I don't have spell. So target monster with 500 less attacks. There's not 2 monsters with the same name as that face-up monster. So you can just get 3 of this dude on the field. And if you went 1 for 1, you go 1 for 1 for this. Then use machine dupe, and I understand that this is a 2.5 card combo, right? But either you've opened it or you've opened 1 for 1, right? So you summon that, then summon 2 more, and you've got the extra normal summon. Yeah, and then you just summon this and then settle this stuff. The only thing would be is I think to search this, right? And I think there's 1 card which, oh, I can't spell. Earthbound. Whoops, it's all one word. So, I could be wrong here because it might search a Fiend Tuner. But, this thing. Yeah, it's a tuner. That sucks. Okay. Because it almost fits. Discard this card, add 1 level 3 Allure Fiend Tuner from your deck. Oh, that sucks nuts. This is just a level 3 to Fiend. So if anyone knows of a Fiend search, just to get to your clear wall and your clear world, that's kind of cool. I think that's some stuff that might happen. And then just real quickly before we talk about 7th Tachyon, we had a bunch of reprints. Some of the Thunder Drags got reprinted. These are the 2 that I saw. All the Herald traps got reprinted, but not Diviner, but that's already been reprinted a bunch anyway. It had like the Tins and the Ultis from the OTS. A bunch of Trickstar stuff got reprinted too. Once again, don't know if like they're the good ones or whatever, but I didn't see Candina or Licorice, so it's probably just like the more combo heavy deck rather than the burn heavy version. Azarune got reprinted, which is kind of funny as well because now we're in a format that isn't using Azarune anymore because Snake Eyes just was the one that used it at the end of its life cycle, and now it just isn't being used. And it's like if we're using anyone using Silhouette Rabbit is probably going to be playing Odeon or some crap like that, right? As like a way to get to it if their stuff gets stopped. There's that as well. Gladiator Beast got reprinted with a shout out to Beast War Chariot. I think before this reprint, the original copy of this is actually really expensive because it only has 1 printing. And so when Gladiator Beast got announced for more support, this thing shot up, if I remember correctly from what Rossi was saying. So you know, so just to mention to the Beast War Chariot, if you bought it for a stupid amount of money, you're an idiot. Performance stuff, I don't know Performance very well, and I don't know if this stuff is new or reprints. I'm assuming it's reprints because they look familiar, but then all the Performance cards look the same to me. Sword Soul, the whole thing got reprinted now. Moye is still the chase card. It's still the highest card, or highest rarity card in this set as well. It was what, Ultras in Mama and Bode, which was the rarest one for all of the Sword Soul cards in both those sets because they all got a good chunk of them got reprinted in Mama too, and I'm pretty sure Moye was still the hardest to get. And the cool thing about this is that what Protoss got reprinted in the rarity Sword Soldiers got reprinted then, like I said, in its entirety, and Tenyi got reprinted in the Crossover Breaker set, which now means that other than the brand new Tenyi cards, which I bought one of the new Tenyi for $15, if you want to play base Sword Soul from like 2 years ago with Protoss, it's probably like a $10 deck now. I'm not even joking. Like, these cards are worth pennies, to the point where Josh went through my bulk and just pulled out almost an entire core besides one Moye, I think, and he's just going to give it away to someone. And I was like, sick, I'm all down for it, because I've already got my Sword Soul core. Whatever. And last but not least, as in for the reprint, is the Perulia. Now, the issue with the Molcharmies being reprinted is that it lowers the chances of these pieces of crap ever being hit. I pulled one. With it being reprinted and with 7th Tachyon being a thing, which we'll talk about in a second, the chances of this ever being hit has just the time has now extended if it's ever going to get hit. I don't think these cards are good. I said this in the ban list video the other week, that I hate these cards. There's actually some stuff down there too. I'll talk about that in a second. I don't think these cards are good for the game in the slightest. I think they're ripe for format abuse, depending, especially like tier 0 format abuse. If they're just like, oh, they only summon from hand, then this card just not only shoots up in price, it's just all you're ever going to see, which then means you have to make meta calls of, do I play the meta and lose to a Molcharmy, or do I play something anti-meta that might not do as well if I don't open the Molcharmy? So that's my issue with that. I don't know when Perulia gets reprinted, but it will. And then that got reprinted. That's a reprint. This thing I found was funny, because I just didn't understand the wording of it. So it's 2 dragon monsters, which means it can be played in like Dragon Link, Blue Eyes, just anything that can make 2 dragons, right? Which isn't hard to do. So during the battle phase, quick effect, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard, then target one number Xyz monster you control, whose original attribute are Light Dragon, right? And so I don't think the Blue Eyes one is. I don't think the Blue Eyes Xyz is. It's not even here. What's that stupid thing called? Is it like Vermilion Eyes and crap like that? Alright, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, because I probably should look this up. Because there's Galaxy Eyes. Kind of funny that there's Galaxy Indigo. Stupid. He's not a number monster. Anyway, so back to this real quick. So, attribute Light type, the Light Dragon, until the end of the battle phase, its attack becomes equal to the value of the number in its name times 100. But then also any battle damage your opponent takes is halved, which means it's really just a way of just beating over stuff. During your opponent's end phase, you can take 1 card from your deck, place it on top of your deck. Who cares about that? But so my thought is on how math works. I don't know what my calculators are, right? So if we look up number real quick, we'll just look up number. That's number 100. So 100 times 100 is it 10,000? It's not 1,000, is it? No, it'd be like 10,000 right now. I don't know math very well. So 100 times 100. Yeah, 10,000. So then Numeron, this thing on top of whatever it gets, would get another 10,000, but then the damage would be halved, right? And then like 103, 104, 13, that's not very good. 17, like, actually no, you can only make it Light Dragon, right? So monster, Xyz, Wagon, Light Surf. So what are our targets? It's all Tachyon crap. All Tachyon crap. And then like Harbinger, Utopic, Thunder Dragon. So these are your targets, sorry. I'm an idiot. But these are your targets that you can hit with this thing here, which I thought was kind of funny. Just how it was worded, that it's the number times 100. To me, that's hilarious. That's just the thing. Like, that's just dumb. So 10,000 on average by the looks of it, or this is just 3800, so it makes it a 6800 beta. Is it added or is it? Oh no, it just becomes. So this thing gains like 800 attack. Sick. This thing got a reprint, which is good because I think I only had one reprint. That's the little cool thing. And this thing here is cool too. The Duke of Demise. This thing here, I would argue this thing here is the best card in the set. You know what? Once per turn during your standby phase, pay 5 life points to destroy this card. Who cares? Cannot be destroyed by battle. That's a Fucho. You can only use the effect forever. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one monster. You can banish this card from your graveyard to target one level 4 or higher fiend or zombie monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Sounds crazy to me, man. Sounds pretty nuts. I like it. Good super poly target in certain decks. Check the zombie board on the field. Go for it. Who cares? I don't know. I think this card's great. I really like this. 2 normal summons, can't be destroyed by battle, and you can add a level 4 or higher fiend or zombie monster from your graveyard. Sounds great. I don't know. I like this one. All right. So now, just quickly because the video is starting to get a bit long. 7 Tachyon. This is the chase card. This is the thing that apparently is a $500 play set. Fucking stupid, man. It has to be the crappiest card I think I've seen ever. So it's really, really good in exactly Raziel, and it will see some level of play if you do get stopped enough and you're just like, I'm going to Molcharmy. But if you're Molcharming turn 2 with an empty board, you're not winning. You just lose. So, sorry, this is really good for Raziel and for Galaxy Eyes, which makes sense because it's made for Tachyon, for Galaxy Eyes, right? Why anyone was paying $500 for a set? Australian dollars, by the way, so this would be about, what's time and a half, like $350 American, some crap like that for a playset. That's why I had to talk about it last, because I didn't want anyone turning off the video because I'm hating on their special card. I think this is crap. This is terrible. It's going to have play right now because it's 3 more bonfires for Raziel. Fair, right? Like, why not? It's only locking into Xyz. The deck itself locks you into Xyz, which we know doesn't matter, right? But who cares, right? Like, they're going to like it. If you're stuck to the point where you have to search a Molcharmy or a Lancia, well, searching a Lancia isn't even you stuck, it's you beating Malice, right? But if you're stuck and you're like searching a Molcharmy, yeah, you probably were losing anyway. This will see play in exactly this format right now, and you will see it in rogue decks that play 4s and 5s, right? So, there's a caveat to this, right? So 4s and 5s in rogue decks that need another searcher, and don't care about locking themselves into Xyz. There aren't many. Time Thief's one of them. It's so dumb. And it probably will see play in K9 if K9 ends up being good. K9 plays on turn 0, it'll probably be seen as a pretty good deck. So you'll probably see that in K9 because also they're in Xyz deck. They work with 5s. It's all good, so that's pretty neato there. But this is not worth like $130 a card or whatever it is. That's absolutely dumb. But yeah, that's the set. Final review. It's the reprint's cool. I like the look of Clearworld. I like the look of the Allure Queens. I like that ABC got stronger. I like that Odeon got support finally. Not the support that I thought he would get. The fact that you don't even need the old Sekit monster kind of annoys me. But we don't care really that much. And then just a bunch of random, like the reprints are cool. I like the Thunder Dragon reprints. My hope is when I see crap like this, like Gladiator Beast, I know we just got support for it, so it doesn't really matter. But stuff like Trickstar, which I don't think got support recently, stuff like the Heralds didn't get support recently. The Thunder Dragons didn't get support recently. Sword Soul, technically sure it got support, but realistically the Tenyi's got support. when I see these reprints, I'm hoping that more support is for them is coming in a way, like whether or not it's something being unbanned would be kind of cool, or they're just releasing more Thunder Dragons, or they're releasing more Heralds, and maybe we have like a whole different line of hand traps coming up type of deal, maybe something like that. Maybe an Azarune reprint, but that's probably really reprinted because of this stuff, right? Because you'll play Silhouette Rabbit, whatever. So that's my thing. Allure Queen needed to be reprinted because of the 2 new cards, because I think this is all old crap, and these 2 here are new. But yeah, that's my kind of thought on it. I do not think the set is worth buying at all. I think just buy your singles. There's not a... Other than Odeon, you cannot open a full core in this set, right? For anything. The Galaxy Eye stuff uses old cards, even though it got reprinted. Sure, they're like 20 cents a card. The clear stuff, like, just buy them. They're not playable. They're so cheap. If you really want it, you'll spend like $20 on play sets for the entire thing. The Allure Queens are the same thing. You'll spend like $20 on play sets for the whole thing. The ABC support, you can't open 3 boxes and get the whole deck or anything like that. If you open a case with the whole deck, you can get the engine that's in this, and you still have to buy the old stuff. So you're better off, or arguably, you're better off just buying singles for this set. I bought 2 boxes. No regrets. I like doing it. But it's not worth the $130 price tag. You're better off just buying singles for this set, I reckon. Yeah, because you can't get an entire core and just play out of the box. And that's that. That's Maze of the Master. I think Stampede is next, now that I think about it. I might be wrong completely, but Stampede might be next. But, got anything to say, write it down in the comments. I like arguments. And I'll see you next time. Take it easy.